Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, you're going to rehab for both drugs and booze. What the hell's the problem?
And DSK's DNA is found on the maid's shirt.
And welcome once again to Culture Clash. I'm Chet Kopic along with
Catherine Saxon.
And we are brought to you by the marvelous people at Flood Brothers Disposal Service. Okay, right off the top, before we get to Oscar De La Hoya and some of these other points, why should anybody possibly be surprised that Lance Armstrong is suspected of doping? The Tour de France has always been about doping. All those guys are using illegal drugs. It's been a way of life for the Tour de France.
Well, I was surprised he's never tested positive. So that, you know, as long as you don't test positive, it should still be surprising.
But as long as there are designer drugs. It's like with Major League Baseball, Catherine. There are ball players right now who are still using steroids, and the testers are a step ahead, or the designers, rather, are a step ahead of the testers.
So that you're still able to test negative?
Exactly, yeah.
I wonder how that's possible. I mean,
but I see a lot of jealousy with Lance Armstrong.
But this was in 1999, so I wonder how it was that advanced at that point, because
in 1999 it was virtually non-existent. I mean, testing was virginal in those days compared to where it is now.
Okay. Tyler Hamilton, he has been, what am I trying to say right now? He has been caught for using performance-enhancing drugs, correct?
Well, he went on 60 Minutes and he did this sort of cry, pour, rehearse thing about Lance did it, we all did it, and he was about as convincing as a used car salesman telling you to kick the tires. It's just, you know, quite frankly, given the fact that...
You love the used car salesman line, or that stereotype.
In other words, you're saying after 4 shows...
You use that for every...
After 4 shows, my material is already getting stale.
Just a bit.
I will say this, in conclusion, I've always assumed the Tour de France was about doping. No more, no less. And frankly,
so you think
I don't care
okay.
about the Tour de France. What's next on the agenda?
Okay. Anna Kournikova, the former tennis star, is set to join The Biggest Loser. She's replacing Zero Tolerance Jillian Michaels. Of course, she's dating Enrique Iglesias, which I'm very jealous of. But she's also a pretty good tennis player. But
well, number one, what's so hot about Enrique Iglesias?
A lot. Besides the mole, he's very attractive.
Besides the mole?
Yeah, he's definitely a sex appeal. They're a very attractive couple, I have to say.
I wonder if a mole would have ruined the career of Elizabeth Taylor. First of all, Anna Kournikova at one time was simply the most gorgeous woman in the world. Prettier than Cameron Diaz, prettier than anybody you can possibly think of. She was everybody's perfect 10. She was the 21st century Bo Derek in 10. Although she never won a match in her life, you realize that.
Well, do you know, well, she's never won any in singles, correct?
Right, she's won a couple of doubles matches.
But she's been pro since 15, and she's actually turning 30 pretty soon. So at first I kind of thought it was a little weird for her to be a trainer on The Biggest Loser, but I guess since she has been an athlete for pretty much her whole life, that gives her some credibility. Well,
Catherine, I'm going to tell you something very, very unusual. I have an idea that the producers of that show are looking at Anna Kournikova and saying, you know what, if we pay her a few bucks, we're going to generate ratings because guys from the age of 15 to 102 are going to make this appointment television.
Okay, moving on. Did you watch, well, I'm guessing you did, watch the Chicago Bulls game the other night?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, the Home Shopping Network wasn't on.
Okay, did you see any sort of slurs said that could have been interpreted as degrading?
Yeah, I did. And obviously, you're talking about Joakim Noah and the reference to homosexuality to the fan who was seated behind the Bulls bench. 2 issues emerge in this with me.
Okay.
Number one is I don't like the fact that within the structure of the NBA and sports, the nasty word for homosexuality is used so frequently. I think it's dumb. It's illogical.
Well, it's a derogatory term that's used for homosexuals that has, in this generation, it's used quite frequently instead of stupid. So I don't even think that a lot of times people are saying it with the conscious effort of thinking of homosexuality. They're thinking of it as you're stupid, you're a, derogatory term. So I was just trying to bring you up to speed.
I'm really not sure I agree.
Okay. That's a fact.
Now maybe I'm old school.
Okay.
In fact, I know I'm old school. Let's go up and do the Charleston. But the fact is this. Joakim Noah, you're on national television. You don't turn around, for heaven's sakes, and call a guy an F, etc.
Etc.
It just doesn't work.
I mean, it was almost like his mouth was in slow motion. I'm like,
he got fined $50,000. Now,
Right.
Kobe Bryant got fined $100 grand, but he called a referee an F, followed by a series of other letters.
Other derogatory terms. Yeah.
You know, we're doing this show so straight. My gosh, I feel like we're Robert Schuler's Hour of Power.
Anyway, to bring up my point that I was talking about a few seconds ago, Brian actually said later on that his what he said did not reflect his true feelings towards homosexuals, and he apologized, describing that the
Yeah, given the
outburst.
opportunity, he'll punch one out.
Well, the outburst is stupid and ignorant. So I don't even think that they really know that it has any association with.
Oh, come on.
I mean, okay, obviously they do in the moment. They're not
Where
thinking
are
of
you
a
from? Libertyville, for heaven's sakes?
That joke is also getting old, along with your age. But I just think that obviously they know that it means homosexuality, but I think that when they're in the moment and they're saying it, since in that generation they've grown up with it meaning
All right,
stupidity,
then
they're not meaning it as.
If I got mad at you right now and I called you a word that begins with D, how ticked off would you be?
I would be upset, but you would look like such an idiot that the joke would be on you.
Believe me, I can do that without your help. I don't
Okay.
need your help at all on that one.
Minnesota is trying to propose a constitutional amendment to ban gay marriage, which gay marriage has already been banned.
come
But
on.
this means that voters will decide
That
this in
reminds me of
2012.
Fargo, for heaven's sakes.
It's like obviously they need more things to do with their time, but
Yeah? We're all going to go out and do the boogaloo.
all right. I have a few friends from Minnesota, so I have to vouch for them that there are a few cool people from Minnesota.
Name one. Jesse
You
the
don't
Body-
actually know
Jesse
them.
the Body Ventura.
You don't actually know them, okay? But all right. But supporters of the amendment say that putting it into the Constitution would ensure future lawmakers would not be able to change it, or judges wouldn't be able to.
Come on,
oppose
it's
against it.
2011, for heaven's sakes.
Well,
A ban on gay marriage?
I'm pleasantly surprised by your response. So
Why?
I'm just saying I'm pleasantly surprised by
I'm
your
far
response.
more liberal than you are.
Well, you don't know that, but I appreciate your perspective on this issue.
Young lady.
I thought that you were originally from Fargo.
I marched in 1968 with the demonstrators in Chicago during the legendary Chicago Democratic National Convention. I was a liberal long before it was fashionable. I'm still a liberal.
Well, good for you. On this issue, I agree with you fully.
Except when it comes to money. There I'm a Republican all the way.
Isn't that? Okay. McDonald's chefs are examining how much salt content is in their items, and I find this to be hilarious because they're trying to enhance their flavor and using such other methods as flavoring acids. And the reason that they're doing this, I'm thinking the salt content, maybe it's for health reasons, but it's actually because their chicken
What?
recipe is too Italian tasting. That's why they're questioning their salt content.
No, it's all part of a brand new marketing campaign.
Okay.
The guys at McDonald's realize they can score real big, especially with the Midwest population, if they do the following. Enjoy a Big Mac, down from 54 fat grams to 53.5.
Woo!
Less salt.
Diet. I mean, I just thought that this was. When has it been an Italian tasting? Has that ever been, something said about their
I don't know. I haven't
chicken?
had a McDonald's hamburger in so many years.
Well, it's
I
their
wouldn't
chicken.
know. Oh,
So
it's
if
their
you
chicken.
right, so have you
I
had their
didn't even
chicken
know
in a while?
McDonald's served chicken. Oh yeah, they have chicken McNuggets, right?
They do, and they have a
introduced
couple
those when,
of other
about
chicken items.
1973?
They've updated their menu a little bit since that time, but there's a few other chicken items on there. I wouldn't say it's Italian tasting, but I think it's kind of ironic that that's why they're trying to look at their salt intake.
By the way, this may surprise you, but the following is unrehearsed. Okay, what else is on your mind?
Okay, well, let's see. Bringing up, if you're feeling bad about us and things, looking at other countries category, I'm thinking that the woman who in Saudi Arabia who was arrested for driving, I'm feeling pretty bad for her this week. She was trying to launch a campaign against the driving ban for women in Saudi Arabia, and she was detained for a few hours and was fortunately let go, but I was wondering if you had heard anything about this.
I'm telling you, those Saudis, they know how to party. They really do. I mean, they party like it's 1999.
This is the only country in the world to still ban driving for women.
Can somebody tell me why these pretty Saudi women, when it's 122 degrees outside, have to have their head covered, for heaven's sakes? It'd be easier to wear a football helmet.
It's cruel and unusual punishment. It really is. I can't even imagine being in that weather.
It's like
Sometimes
traffic on the
I'm in a
Kennedy.
tank top and it's bothersome. Yeah, so I mean, they can't, any woman who
I
can
just wonder what they
afford.
do for kicks. I mean, what are these women allowed to do for fun? Do they ever go to pool rooms or, you know, a movie?
Well, listen to this. They're
Hey,
not
by the
able
way,
to.
by the
okay.
way, do you like Kate Hudson?
I do like Kate Hudson.
I saw her
don't know how
brand
she
new-
is relevant with Saudi Saudi women, but
Well, you know what? If she turns out flicks like this, Saudi's going to be the only country that's going to run her movies.
okay.
Over the weekend, at the point of a gun, my girlfriend forced me to go to the Webster Place Theater in Chicago.
Okay, what's that movie
and
called?
see
Her new dating
something
romantic
borrowed
flick.
or borrowed something or whatever the hell it is.
Okay.
She absolutely sucked. She was terrible.
I
wouldn't give
the
the
rating
movie
said
one star.
overacting by Kate Hudson.
And she was tag teaming with a young dark-haired girl who completely stole the flick from her.
Well, was there anything to steal?
Not really. I mean, the script was somewhere between Dick and Jane and the vocabulary you'll hear at Cook County Jail.
Okay, so don't go see that. Dancing with the Stars. The finale's on tonight. Have you been keeping up with this whatsoever?
Only with
Heinz
Kirstie
Ward is
Alley's,
on it.
only with Kirstie Alley's waistline because I can relate to it.
Well, I was going to suggest this for you. The dancing, I mean, she's lost 60 pounds since starting the show. And that maybe, you know, you've made a couple complaints about your rear and some other complaints as well. I thought maybe that this could be an outlet for you for...
Yeah, I've made a couple of complaints about my rear, but up in Minnesota, they're crazy about it.
Okay, well, I'm thinking that tonight that it's down to the top three. Kirstie Alley, Heinz Ward, and then also Chelsea Kane, who is a Disney star.
Heinz Ward wins by knockout. He's rhythmic.
I don't know. I don't know. It'll definitely be down to him and Chelsea Kane, the Disney star, but I think she might be able to knock him out based on talent, but he might have more supporters, so we'll have to watch and see.
Do you want to wish Oscar De La Hoya good luck?
Yes, since apparently he needs it. He's in rehab, correct?
Yeah.
Do you know what for?
I have a better question.
Okay.
Do you know who Oscar De La Hoya is?
He is a boxer.
Not bad. Not bad. Well, apparently he's got issues with booze and coke, and his friends are happy that he's going into rehab.
Okay, has he ever had any issues in the past?
Well,
That you know of, since you guys are really
he
close.
once got caught strutting in women's apparel.
Which is definitely related to cocaine. Okay, and that's all we know out of his previous record?
How much more do we have to know, for heaven's sakes?
I don't
Isn't
know
that
if
enough?
if you
He
run
likes-
with the law, if he
He likes to wear nylons, he's going to rehab.
Okay.
What do you want me to say?
Because you like to wear nylons,
What do you
doesn't
want
mean
me
you're
to
going
say?
to
He has a
rehab.
conviction for first-degree murder?
No, that he has a conviction for cocaine or DUIs or something that would be relevant.
All right, I
towards-
hereby declare the fight over. Stopped. Done. And that is more than enough for today. We thank the marvelous people at Flood Brothers Disposal Service. You ever have a problem with your disposal? Flood Brothers, they're the people to call. I'm Chet Kopic along with
Catherine Saxon.
This has been Culture Clash. We'll catch you next time around. So long, everybody.